Live on SportsGrid. It is in-game live. It's Kevin Walsh. It's Gabriel Morency here with you on a night full of both Major League Baseball and some really fun WNBA. We will, of course, react to the baseball trade deadline. Big news from the weekend that carried right up in to the last hour. The Padres sneaking in there. Yankees, couple of backs. Big trades in the AL East. We will get to all of that. But there are two really good WNBA games that tip off at 7, and this is one of those leagues that sometimes 7 means 7-10 and sometimes 7 means 7. So let's just get this out of the way here quickly, Gabe. I'm sure you're betting at least one of these games. The Dream hosting the Aces, the Liberty hosting the Storm. I'm sticking with Angel Reese. She's been on fire. Points, rebounds, 27.5, too light in my opinion. She loves the matchup against Aja Wilson. Not that she's like going to pick on her, but she embraces it. She likes that opportunity. And I like Stewie over 34.5 point rebound and assist tonight with the Liberty Storm game back at the Barclays.
I hate to be so disagreeable, but I actually have both players. Give me Angel Reese over 11.5 rebounds. She leads the league with 12 or more rebounds per game in the WNBA. Say what you will about Angel, and for whatever reason, she's become the piñata, the target, of the WNBA. I think sometimes some of the things she says and does doesn't help her. But at the same point in time, I think it's unfair. And she's a numbers machine, bro. I know you've been cashing in on her, so I'm going over 11.5 rebounds, and I'm kind of keeping this one simple tonight as well. I'm going with Stewart over 21.5 points. It was 22.5, but I found it 21.5, and I expect her to be points in this game. We've seen the Storm can't really stop anybody. And the Liberty, they're not a two-woman team, but, Breanna Stewart right now is on fire. And, we've talked a lot about the Liberty over the past couple of years. And let's be real, guys, they've underachieved, right? But I don't know, Kevin, have they turned a corner over the last week or so? Like, is there something different about them? Do they have another little edge now to them? I kind of think they do. I think Stewart does a little bit. So I'm going Stewie over 21.5 points.
Yeah, I also, me, Gabe, I love like a bounce back spot. Not that she played poorly, but for her, only 14 points in that
14.
game against Phoenix. She doesn't usually go consecutive games without a 20 spot there. So it keeps you right in the range. I like where we're starting off here tonight. I'll add this quickly. I was curious your take on this, though, Gabe. I thought when I knew we had this game tonight, just looking over the weekend, I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to step up with Atlanta. I'm going to get involved. I'll get a nice dog price. I couldn't believe the 2.5 point favorite number here. I don't know if the books are as in on the Dream as I am still. I don't know if it's low on Vegas, spot. I was a little surprised at the number.
For me, and I'm kind of a Vegas guy when it comes to the W. I don't like messing with Vegas. I'll either take them or pass for the most part. But it feels like an Atlanta spot tonight. It did. It does. Yeah. And same with you. I saw that, and I was like, cool, I got to win the game. It's kind of – and, some nights I come in, I got a million picks, and I got to kind of pare them down a bit and stuff. Tonight I was just more direct. And I think it's because I'm still feeling it from the MLS game I went to on Saturday. But I'm much more direct today, Kevin. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah. And also I want to win, right? I'm not really into screwing around. So I was like, Reese is hot. I'm going with Reese. I don't really want to sweat out the game. It could go either way. Yeah. I'm going to go with Reese. I don't know. You can make an argument. Should the Liberty be bigger favorites than they are? And then you got that total there. We've seen Seattle play some real track meets at home, but can they score as much on the road is my question.
It's funny, Gabe. For some reason in the W, there are a couple of spots. You do this a lot, I think, with I think about Wemby's rebounds, where you basically showed up on a daily basis like, guys, give me Wemby's rebounds. And there was it took 10 games for it to move. Liberty team total until I don't.
What, 89.5 type thing, 90, whatever?
Well, I missed it against Phoenix and it went over. That's one of the reasons I'm on the Stewie number, because I'm now like, no, I missed one of the team totals, so it's bothering me. But Gabe, I think the Liberty score 100 tonight. Who's surprised by that, guys? Not with the way they've been playing. They're not cover machines, though. Even in this where they look better, Gabe, there's something. I think
tonight was finally somewhat of a fair price, though, right? 7.5 wasn't totally scary. It wasn't like, it's 11.5, it's 9.5, it's 7. Right. But you're right. Even that, we're off and running. It's funny, too, because as you stated, sometimes they tip off right like military time, and sometimes they don't. The Aces and Dream have not, but the Liberty are up 8-3 early here. Total already bounced up to 187.5.
Yeah, so we're off and running there. Also, Gabe, we're going to talk plenty of baseball over these 2 hours. 7:05 start in the Bronx. Cam Schlittler's got the baseball. I'm under 8 in this game. Minus 117. I didn't think it was a bad price. I think McGreevy will pitch well here. Yanks are monster favorites. I think that's some deadline influence. Louis Garcia will make his debut in pinstripes, but I played the under 8. Look, if Schlittler does his job, St. Louis really shouldn't get more than 2 on the board. Yanks would have to put a 6 spot, and then that's a push. So I feel pretty good here about an under 8, Gabe.
I got put off by the extremely high number. A strikeout prop for Cam, could be in play here. But once again, I kind of kept things simple on the diamond tonight. And if you guys realize or notice, it's not like I don't bet the East Coast games, but I really have become a West Coast guy, Kevin. You know what I mean? Like, I thrive with the late night WNBA, late night college basketball, football. NBA sort of doesn't really start for me until all right, what's up with the Clippers here at 10 o'clock? You know what I mean? The Kings game, Sacramento. I live in the West Coast, bro. So it's sort of my wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying?
Is Steph playing tonight? What's the deal? What's this war?
Yeah. So today there was a lot of my West Coast teams are on the East Coast tonight, right? It was one of those God, I hate that. Everyone's on the East now. All right. Yeah. So my Dodgers in Chicago tonight. Robleski on the hill. They're 12-6. We talk a lot about how teams do when certain pitchers pitch. And, does the guy give your baseball team a chance to win a baseball game? Do you guys win when this guy pitches? And yes, they do. And I know, listen, the Dodgers win a lot, right? But they're 12-6 in his 18 starts. It's pretty impressive. So 12-6, a fair price tonight. I'm getting the Dodgers at minus 125. And man, the Rangers, Kevin, the Rangers been a big under team. And the Blue Jays don't really hit, right? So I'm betting the under 9 here. The concern is we know Bieber got lit up in his last start. And I think I was on the under in that game, actually. I was on the Jays or whatever, in his last start. That was then. This is now. He didn't get traded. He's on the team. I'm expecting him to bounce back tonight.
Okay. Yeah, Toronto. It's funny.
I like the under. I'm not taking so I want to clear you. I'm on the under. I'm on the under 9 in the Astros and
Blue Jays
and Rangers and Blue Jays. I was going to say the Astros and Rangers, the 2 Texas teams, have been big time under teams at home this year. Both of them have been.
Yeah. I don't like when an opener starts, Gabe. For the most part, with a baseball board, there's an opener. I'm probably not even going to break the game down. It just throws things off. That's what I did today with Toronto after the deadline. Too emotional for me. There are some teams where a deadline hits them. I remember years ago, the A's traded a bullpen guy. They were guys were crying in the locker room. It's really? But, all right, I don't want anything to do with that.
But aren't the Jays kind of strange, though? They trade Gossman and they bring in Soriano after, though.
This whole thing is strange, Gabe. Dalton Varsho's batting cleanup for the Astros tonight. He walked over to the opposing dugout.
That is bizarre.
Strange.
I was in the World Series last year with the Blue Jays, man.
What are the chances he got traded? Do you think they added a little bit extra? They're he can play for you tonight. Yeah. He's here. You can get one better prospect ranking than you thought. He's in the building.
I love that. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's an emotional one.
Showed up in Jays gear and is leaving in Astros gear.
Yeah, you went to Houston as a member of the Jays, and now they're you got to leave the room and go across the hallway.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry up. And then immediately they do some hurry up, 2-minute warning, and they look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is. It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. You know, we've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
We're here on Major League Baseball trade deadline day. And of course, we're going to get into Scooble, obviously. I do want to, though, just kind of look at what happened over the 72-hour window and remove Tariq. Who is the second best player that was dealt this deadline? Some would say Adley Rutschman. Maybe you would mention Louis Garcia. He's certainly having a good season. He does not have a worlds of pedigree. I don't know if somebody would want to throw Robbie Ray out there, but I think that would probably be a mistake. Let's say it is Adley Rutschman. Now, these are, you can argue, in the eye of the beholder, but there is a credible site on Twitter, 60,000 followers, Baseball Trade Values. You know, they assign dollar amounts to these teams. They said the Dodgers actually slightly underpaid for Skubal, for example. They valued the return that Baltimore got for Rutschman 4x Rutschman's value. I say that to say, I don't know if we got a depressed deadline because of a lockout. I don't know if we got a depressed deadline because everybody just thinks the Dodgers are going to win it, and why bother? I don't know if we got a depressed deadline because half the teams we thought would be sellers were buyers. But what I do know is, Gabe, we got a depressed deadline, and really, the only reason Skubal even got dealt is the Tigers knew they weren't going to re-sign him. Like, I'm just starting there. We really didn't see multiple superstars switch teams here like we used to in deadlines past.
No, but it's a lot of players that were dealt, Kevin.
Yeah.
This is more than I expected, right? I mean, and what superstars were really available, right? Skubal was the star that was available. He was the big name. I mean, Gossman's a pretty big name. I think if you're the Chicago Cubs, you were pretty aggressive, Kevin. We could talk about what players, but if you want to talk about what teams, the Cubs, I thought, had a very, very strong day, and the Cubs were sending a message that they want to compete. They want to compete in the National League playoffs. I mean, look at these. Look at the amount of talent they just brought in here, and arms, Kevin. I mean, to me, very, very impressive what the Cubs did. Listen, San Francisco, obviously not contenders, but they did a good job selling, and they did a good job getting players back. You know, I'm not for blowing it up. We talked about it the other day. I don't think just because you automatically don't make the playoffs, you blow it up. But if you're San Francisco, you needed to shake things up. So I thought San Francisco did a nice job with the rebuild here, Kevin. But I Thought it was a pretty aggressive day for the Chicago Cubs. Seattle bringing in Ward doesn't hurt, Kevin, right? They needed a bat. I mean, we could talk about the teams that needed to address what they needed to do. The Rutschman stuff surprises me. It was just a couple of years ago. I mean, this guy was the future, and why they gave up on him and they don't want him. I never really fully understood, Kevin, but and then for him to end up in a division too, and you trade him in a division.
I know the division stuff is jarring, but it's not more jarring than the fact that the reason they got rid of Rutschman is they signed Basayo long-term. Adley Rutschman was not he was supposed to be 100% Gabe, Buster Posey to Baltimore. And before they extended a different catcher. Before they could give Rutschman it is a fascinating thing how that all played out there. Obviously, Baltimore trusts Basayo. He was only 21 years old. But look what it took.
Rutschman could crush it at Fenway. If he gets back on track, he could crush it in that park.
But, Gabe, you know how Red Sox fans are. They love to puff their chest out. They're the hottest team in baseball. They swept the Dodgers. They saw the deal and went, oh, boy.
Yeah, they wanted more.
They gave up a ton. A team who right now looks at a vulnerable American League and thinks we can win this thing, and rightfully so, looks at the prospects they sent out and we're like, wait, why did we just do that, guy?
Well, if I was the Red Sox, I would have just jammed up arms, Kevin, like the Cubs did. Like I said, you know what? In the playoffs, guys, arms matter the most. Everything sort of gets equalized, right, with the hitters in the playoffs. It all comes down to pitchers. I mean, hell, look at the Dodgers last year. They were rolling out Yamamoto every second inning last year, right? They were rolling out, guys they didn't want to roll out. Really? This guy's on the hill right now in Game 6 of a World Series? And you can sign as many pitchers as you think you can get your hands on, and you end up needing them all. There are injuries. You end up needing them all. The Dodgers are a classic example of this. Oh, my God, the Dodgers are look at the staff they have now. Yeah, well, by the time we get to October, everyone could be hurt again for them, right? There's just no guarantee. So that's why it just sticks out to me what the Cubs did, Kevin, and just stacking up and getting arms. It's just another arm that you have in the playoffs, another guy that's been there before, another guy that's pitched under pressure situations before. So I was impressed with what the Cubs did. As far as the Dodgers are concerned, I'm somewhat surprised that they did it. I think, though, and I talked about it last week, Kevin, and and a lot of Dodger fans agreed with me on Saturday night when I started posting about it, was that I think it was a lot to do with there really wasn't anyone in the American League after him, Kevin. You know what I mean? Who are the teams that we heard that, they might actually do this is the Brewers and the Braves the most.
Yeah.
And the Brewers became serious with it. The Brewers made offers, evidently, right? So I think the Dodgers kind of realized, do we need him? No. Right? Do we need him? No. But do we want him pitching against us in October? No. So let's pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think there's certainly a lot of that there. I mean, look, the Dodgers were kind of the favorites the whole time, right?
And they really didn't give up that much, Kevin, in the end for a great pitcher. That's the whole thing with these baseball deals. You really don't get that much back in return. So if you're the Dodgers, whatever, dude. We gave up a couple of prospects. Big deal. Prospects that'll never play for us.
But they would have got Gabe twice as much, at least, if they traded him before the year. Not even a question. He is now for the Dodgers, it's fine, right? Obviously, because they expect to be playing baseball for literally 2 months. Longer than most teams, but the timing had a huge impact on what Detroit did here. I think they learned from the Angels. We'll talk more about this, of course, after. Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Here. Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now when the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. We've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Back here on In-Game Live, of course, still reacting to the trade deadline, a lot of fallout. But the big thing that happened, and really no close second, was Tariq Skubal heading to the Dodgers. And, man, it's a very, some pieces of it are very simple, and then pieces of it are a little complex. Here's what I will say, and why I find it all to be a little depressing. And I'm not sitting here saying everything is the Dodgers' fault. What I am saying is I don't ever remember seeing a league this accepting of a lockout. And I think it is across the board, the acceptance of the lockout. You hear it in reporters who feed their families by covering the sport. Like, well, we know there's going to be a lockout. And I do think there are a portion of teams that saw Skubal land with LA and went perfect because they want a lockout.
Yeah, this helps move along their narrative. Almost 100%. Part of me didn't want it, right? But even if he would have went to another team and the Dodgers would have won, people still would have cried. Right?
100%.
Let me pretext this and remind people. The Dodgers have won 2 times in a row. They've won 2 times in a row. They haven't won 20 times in a row. They haven't won 6 times in a row. They've won 2 years in a row. Okay? Mm-hmm. They got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs like 2 years in a row a couple of years ago. Right? They've lost multiple World Series. So the complacency and the complaining from from 20, 23, 24 other teams, not all of them is pathetic. And I'll tell you what, there's going to, it looks like it's inevitable that, there's going to be a stoppage. And there's a lot of owners that are going to be in there for a rude awakening, Kevin, out of this. Be careful what you wish for, because there's going to be a floor now. You want a salary cap? All right, fine. There's a salary cap.
100%.
You're going to have to spend $180 million a year now. The numbers that were being thrown around are a lot, way further from the bottom teams than the Dodgers are to the top teams. You know what I mean? The Blue Jays aren't intimidated by the Dodgers spending. It's not like the Blue Jays are like, oh, God, the Dodgers are too rich for us. The Blue Jays are richer than the Dodgers. They just can decide how much they want to spend of it. The Cubs aren't like, oh, the Dodgers are too rich, the Yankees. You know what I mean? There's about 6, 7 teams that are, fine in the world that we're in right now. And then you sort of have those middle teams. But the Pittsburghs, the Floridas of the world, they like it the way that it is, guys. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars a year profit. Point blank.
And this is why I said to
and
you
now
the
they
other
will
day.
not be, Kevin, because they will have to spend the money now. So there's going to be a problem. You have a bunch of owners at the top. They're going to say, screw you. Why should we all be losers? Because you guys are losers. The players are going to be on side with the rich owners. You're going to have the middle tier, and then you're going to have like about 6 or 8 of these loser, like billionaire owners that play poor.
But
right?
this is
And
why I
they're
just want to
gonna be
drill this
complaining.
home again, Gabe. This is why when stuff like the Scooble stuff happens, again, I'm not sitting here, oh, poor. Yeah, I'm not. What I'm saying is I'm watching a league. You and I have sat here months now covering baseball every night. Show us they do not care that a lockout is coming. They don't care,
but they don't care
in
about
the
winning, though.
slightest. No,
All they care about is making money. It's point blank. And they want to,
listen,
that's it. Simple as that.
Everyone, listen, they all care about making money. I understand all of that. What I am talking about, though, is a league. Leagues used to be horrified of a lockout, horrified of one. Baseball speaks about it like there's nothing
Like
they
they're
can
proud.
do.
No, they're almost
not
proud of it.
Yeah.
Like Manfred's
they're like,
boasting about it. Oh, we're going to lock it out. All right, shut down your league. That, by the way, had the highest ratings last year in the World Series in the last 25 years, Kevin. Things could not be better for baseball right now.
Had with the World
Things
Series,
could not
with
be
the
better
World
right
Baseball
now.
Classic.
Like, what's the problem?
You're right.
That one team's winning? Like, what's your problem? Try harder. And let me just throw this out here, too. Oh, the Dodgers this and Dodgers that. For people that are, like, tuning in here, just in case you don't know, the people that own the Detroit Tigers own the Detroit Red Wings. All right? Like, we're not talking about, like, some mom and pop, like, shop. They own an NHL team. They own a Major League Baseball team. Oh, yeah, they own Little Caesars pizza chain. If they don't want to spend money, that's not the Dodgers' fault.
But then you end up, but this is the thing. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you that, oh, this
like
is
the
all
Dodgers
the Dodgers
don't own a pizza
what
chain.
I'm telling you
what do they own?
is the Dodgers aren't poor. I mean, the revenue the Dodgers make is greater than everybody else due to their TV deal. Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. You know, we've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Back with everybody here on SportsGrid. The conversation continues. The future of Major League Baseball and what it's all going to be. Is this?
They do this all the time. Dude, they did this in 94, right? They did it in 94. Everything was fine. They didn't like, same thing. Teams are spending too much money. And ironically enough, at that time, it was the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays in 1992 and 1993, if you look up their lineups, guys, it's very Dodgers-like. It was over the top, Kevin. Like, basically, they signed everybody. Like Paul Molitor, Ricky Henderson, Dave Winfield. Like, if you were a star player, they signed you. And they had an all-star team. And they won 2 World Series in a row, and people flipped out. Oh, the Blue Jays, they keep winning, and there's too much money being spent. And I don't think they like the fact that a team from Canada won 2 years in a row either. And then the Expos were the best team in the league in 1994. Oh, we got to shut this down. We got to shut it down. Thing is, baseball was doing great at the time. There's not a league, Kevin, that shoots itself in the foot as much as baseball does. Like, they changed the rules. People like the rules. Like, everything, like, is going well for them. The revenue is fine. Everybody's making money. But it's never enough for them. It's never enough.
Here's the thing that I will add. And again, I don't want this to be framed as I'm saying it is the Dodgers' fault. What I will say is, though, American sports exist the way that they do because people's attention spans are short. American sports are not supposed to act like the Premier League, where at the end of the day, if West Ham get relegated, guess what? All the West Ham fans are still going to watch the championship. My point is the gap that exists in spending between Manchester City, right, and Ipswich is fine. You have a league right now, though, Gabe, that has this wide disparity. It exists for a reason. It's as much the Rays' fault, if not more, than the Dodgers. But what I don't understand is how this is ever actually going to get resolved. A salary cap is so different than how this sport exists. Juan Soto is on a decade-long deal. Yeah. That is multiple max contracts in the NBA.
Mention, it's a great point, Kevin. Not to mention the intricacies of people that are already under contract, like moving forward. So what do you want? You want teams to give up half their players? That's what you're saying? And, you know, it's all about the numbers, though, right? It's all about the numbers. I mean, what do you think that salary cap will be? The players threw it out there. They said $587 million, I saw.
Well, then that's not even. Then you're just.
They said we can live with 580 and 180. They set the floor at 180.
Right.
It's like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, all these loser owners are going to have to say, well, you can't have it both ways. Like, we're not setting the floor at 300 and then letting you spend 60. So you're going to have to spend. It's going to take forever. Like, I don't see, like you said, there's too many people on different pages in this. Like, honestly, the bottom end owners of Major League Baseball should sell their teams and get the F out of the way. Point blank. Like, that's the whole thing. It's not a right to own a sports team. And once you're in, unless you want to deal with communism and all this, so I guess everybody should vote for AOC. You want to punish the rich? Punish the rich. It's funny how people don't like it in real life, but you want to punish the Dodgers now, right? So you want to punish the rich? Then punish the rich. That's the world you're living in? That's American. That's the American pastime, that you're all a bunch of losers so much that you have to cry. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's socialism. You want to distribute the wealth? Like, what is it that you guys want to do so much? Okay,
I mean,
fine. We'll distribute the wealth.
Every other league, major league here runs. Like, Gabe, I had a conversation with someone who just, not big into sports. They're like, I heard there might be a lockout. I was like, well, there's no salary cap. They're like, what are you talking about? Again, Gabe, there's no, a salary cap exists.
Help?
Gabe, I'm not saying that they probably
all
the
they
owners
do is help the owner. All they do is help owners.
Gabe, I'm not sitting here telling you.
Let me just throw something up there. The NHL didn't have a salary cap before, okay? The Toronto Maple Leafs, 20 years ago, guys, were spending $119 million on players. They're not even allowed to spend that much now. Do you think they're upset about that? It's like, okay, all right, fine. We'll keep the other $80 million then. Okay, sure.
Well, look at the NBA and their second apron, Gabe. The NBA put in a stricter version of their already existing salary cap, so that way a team like the Celtics trades Jaylen Brown and Celtics fans go, yeah, we had to do it, salary cap. I'm not sitting here telling you I have my I Love Salary Cap t-shirt.
Yeah.
What I'm telling
salary
you is
caps are
they
supposed to
exist
equalize
everywhere.
the playing field. They don't.
Oh, I don't
They
know.
don't
if
equalize
that's true.
anything.
I
Have
don't
the
know if
Cleveland
that's
Browns
true.
ever been good? Were they good before the salary cap? Are they good with a salary cap? They've never
Listen,
made the Super Bowl once. The Detroit Lions have never, like, you know what I mean? I can go down the list,
Detroit
Kevin.
Lions have been good. The Detroit Lions have now been good for like 5 straight years, right? You do get.
Yeah, but it's not because of the salary cap they're good. It's because they've been in a league for 80 years and a broken clock is right twice a day. I mean, you can't be crap for 100 years.
It feels. I mean,
well,
that's not funny. It's funny. I was gonna, I'm trying to pick the team. I'm trying to pick the team. I want to say, but no, you know, like it's. Look, let me wrap.
Good management wins, right? Good management wins. That's my, And listen, I'm not naive in saying salary caps don't have a purpose. I don't personally like them, but they don't. It's not like if we get a salary cap in Major League Baseball. I'm telling you right now. It's not like the crappy teams are going to start winning or anything. Nothing is going to change. Nothing will change.
I do think it's going to be interesting, Gabe, if the Tampa Bay Rays have to spend an additional $100 million a season on their roster. Like, I think that's fascinating. But
you're right.
Here's what I'll say, Gabe. Kyle Tucker would not be a Dodger if there was a salary cap. I think we can all agree on that.
Yes.
I think we can all agree on that. Now, that is not why they're putting a salary cap in. Because like you said, and I don't disagree with you, I don't think the Tampa Bay Rays are tossing and turning at night that they missed out on Kyle Tucker. They weren't even in on Kyle Tucker, right?
Well, that's another thing, too, with a guy like Skubal. We talk about it. A guy like Bryce Harper when he's a free agent, or Ohtani, or Soto.
Yeah.
There's only 4 teams, guys, that are in play anyways. Philadelphia, New York, L.A., San Diego, San Francisco.
In
Philadelphia, there's about 8 owners.
It.
Like, there's more than people realize, though. There's about 8 or 10 owners that do spend money in this league.
What it stops probably, Gabe, is a guy like Paul Skeens 1 year into his debut. People are like, when do you think he'll be a Yankee? Manager?
Yeah.
Instead of be like, oh, he'll obviously, like, instead of the Nationals shopping C.J. Abrams, we know that he's going to get extended and be a national for the next 5 years.
Kevin, if you buy a professional sports team, shouldn't you have the money to be able to back it up?
I don't disagree
with that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, it's not like a right. Like, you want to be some rich guy that owns a baseball team that don't buy a team and then say, oh, I can't afford players. I thought you were some rich guy. I thought you were the big man on campus, right? You're not, evidently.
I can't. I mean, Gabe, you know the Yankees I grew up on. You wonder, like, everything the Dodgers are now was the entire foundation of the New York Yankees.
But, George Steinbrenner said, like, they asked Steinbrenner about it, and Steinbrenner said, I didn't always spend. The Yankees were bad guys for a lot of years of my lifetime. He goes, I didn't spend money, and he goes, I didn't get fans. Like, they didn't, like, the post-Reggie Jackson stuff, the 70s, some of that 80s stuff was lean, man. And he goes, there was so much competition. The Mets were good. He goes, I got Broadway, I got concerts, I got all this stuff. He goes, I realized I need to spend money. And he goes, once I started spending money, I started making money. He clued in. Like, he didn't always spend money on the Yankees, Kevin. He didn't.
Yeah, no, right. But right, what I'm saying is then he did, and it was the foundation of who they were, and they're now the most valuable franchise in baseball. And the Tampa Bay Rays might lose the Rays.
And that's the thing, though. All these owners care about, you just nailed it, the value of their franchises. I'm going through this now with the MLS, with the Vancouver stuff. It's a big Ponzi scheme. The MLS. They don't really care about the quality of this or that. All they care about is getting a stadium built. Free. Because it builds the value of their franchise.
Yep. Here we go. We'll be right back. We'll update the live board after a break.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
They come in a lot more better prepared to play than, say, we did, having to learn some of the things that we learned coming into the NFL that we weren't learning in college. A lot of these kids are getting quarterback coaches, you know, as far back as junior high school and all the way through high school into college. So I think the position is a lot more stronger than it's ever been.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Guys, back here on SportsGrid, you know, we're talking big deals involving Los Angeles. Kelsey Plum traded off the Sparks to the Phoenix Mercury. That's piece number one. Here's piece number two. Kelsey Plum, who hasn't played since June, healthy all of a sudden. Not sure what type of medicine they have for the Mercury staff. Seems pretty good though. I think she's going to play tonight, Gabe. I have no earthly idea how many minutes. It's a stunner in terms of landing spot. The Mercury gave up a first-round draft choice at 11 and 19.
It's not for me, Kevin. You and I talked about this last week, if you recall, and I said, I don't think anyone wants her. As crazy as it is. I said, I think she's going to end up on a bad team. And I think she's fine with it. Like, you know what I mean? Where I thought Thomas could get dealt, and she didn't. So, like I said, like, how come nobody lined up for her, Kevin? Like I said, there's something off about her to me, right? And that, like I said, I just knew that, like, teams weren't lining up for her, that it would almost have to be one of these non-playoff teams that were looking to, you know, to get a player and sort of rebuild a little bit.
So here's where
Golden State, I guess, Kevin, just didn't want to give up the currency for it.
Yeah,
like they were interested, but they were asked for too much. Yeah.
Like, you're right in that she went to a bad team, but I feel like she went to Phoenix because they were the ones giving up a first-round pick. Like, I feel like Golden State must have thought that the Sparks were like, hey, listen, Phoenix are going to give us a first. You got to match that. And the Valkyries are like, there's no way. We're calling your bluff. And then the deal went through. Like, 11
these first-round picks are valuable in the WNBA, Kevin, right? There's not so many teams. Like, these are valuable picks, yeah.
And again, guys, if you can land, look at the Minnesota Lynx, okay? Look at the Dallas Wings. If you get Juju Watkins, everything hopes out, God willing, she comes back healthy. Guys, you're in the playoffs by her second season. That's how it works when you land a superstar and they think the next draft class is loaded. And by the way, so when that happened, Gabe, I thought they must know she's going to return. They must know she's going to return. Yeah. I think she's open to returning, but you'll notice she's keeping her options open because, if we've talked about, it's not always sunny skies with this Mercury locker room, it seems. And she's probably like, I got to make sure I like it here before I sign.
It's quite the room, Kevin. Hey, now with Carrington back too.
The whole, I think, no, not Carrington's on the Sky. She was on Phoenix for a bit, but all in all, I know it'll be a good game tonight. I'll tell you that much.
That's what I'm saying though. Playing against them tonight too.
Yeah.
I said playing against them because I don't get into that stuff too much. I kind of know about it. You know what I mean? And I sort of know about it only because of sort of handicapping. You know what I mean? You kind of want to know about the league and stuff, but like, I don't want to know about like some of this stuff that gets thrown out there. You know what I'm saying? Like with Carrington, breaking couples up.
I know what you're
like affairs and blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yep.
Because people are like, why is she on teams? They're like, yeah, she's a menace. And like other WN, like I said, there's a lot of this stuff that goes on in the WNPA. Right, so that's why I was like, oh, Carrington's in this game tonight too. Oh, this is good. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, there's guys, Kennedy Carter was like a top like 12 scorer.
Well, she's another one that she doesn't get along with anyone, Kevin. She goes after players on the other team. I don't know what her deal is. She just doesn't seem to get along with anybody.
Yeah. In this league now, I really don't even want to get into it. Actually, I'm not gonna.
No, that's the problem with that league. There's too much. Like it's just there's constant stuff and stories. But I want to say this about the baseball stuff and the salary cap. And like I said, I'm going through this with MLS now with a stadium deal. I mean, BC Place is a beautiful stadium, man. We just had the World Cup there. It's put $300 million, but they don't own it. So, like, MLS is shaking them down. You better build a stadium or we're going to move the team to Vegas, right? And I'm just so sick of the business of sport. You know what I mean? I'm just sick of it. Like, I think that's one thing that people like about the NFL so much. You don't hear about that stuff, Kevin. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, there's a salary cap. Everyone kind of knows it, but there's not a lot of, you know what I mean? You don't get that constant contract talk. Yeah, guys will hold out in the NFL and camp and stuff, but there's a method to it. It's not the same, right? Like this constant complaining in baseball and the constant shakedowns for stadiums and, and listen, I'm not naive. Like I don't like salary caps, but I do think that there has to be some sort of limit. I mean, otherwise it's sort of like college football. It's not going to be able to sustain itself, right? Yeah. Like even the Dodgers right now, they're kind of pressed against it, guys. Like the Dodgers don't make that much money, like as crazy as it sounds. Like they make a lot of money. I'm not being like whatever, but like they spend so much of the money that they make, guys. They really do. Like that's how, like, don't look at team salary caps or like payrolls and stuff. Look at the amount of money that they spend compared to what comes in. And, like, you look at Steve Cohen of the Mets. He spends, like, 95% of the money that comes in back on the team. Now, he does that because he is so rich that he doesn't need to make money off the Mets, right? So he's not losing money, but he's just sort of the money's coming in, and he puts it all back into the team, etc. The Dodgers can't really spend more. They already have 1 million, like, players. How many more players can they have, right? And the Dodgers are spending, Kevin, about 78% of their money that comes in. Like, they're only making 20%. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, they're keeping 20% of the money that's coming in. But then you got teams like the Pirates and the Brewers and stuff that are only spending, like, 50% of the money that comes in. And they're keeping the other 50%. Yeah. So they're making, like, $180 million a year, and they're spending, like, $150 million a year on players or whatnot. 140 on players, and, they're keeping half, and they're giving half type deal. Mm-hmm. So, like, the Dodgers, even, like, I know, like, the Dodgers ownership are a little concerned now. Like they're getting press now. Like it's close to $1 billion in contracts.
One of the reasons,
they owe $670 million in one payment, guys, in 5 years, 6 years.
Well, listen,
they have to give him all that money at once.
And they should. They should give it to him now. He's been worth every single cent they've given that man.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
They come in a lot more better prepared to play than, say, we did, having to learn some of the things that we learned coming into the NFL that we weren't learning in college. A lot of these kids are getting quarterback coaches, you know, as far back as junior high school and all the way through high school into college. So I think the position is a lot more stronger than it's ever been.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I have one more deadline point, and this is actually, if we want to actually talk about baseball. I saw an athletics fan say, "Man, that's got to be the most untouchable 45 and 67 team I've ever seen." And this is kind of what I don't know what it is, right? But like, why were the Athletics not selling guys today? Like, you can't just tell me, "Oh, Shea Langoliers got hurt, nothing they could do." I just don't want to hear that. Like, I don't know. Maybe they are, you know, it's that new. It's that this new of a world. The A's are like, "Oh, we've got something here. Don't worry, we're gonna get to Vegas." But it's just okay.
They want to.
Right.
They want to get to Vegas with a team. That's the plan. They want to get you know what I mean. They don't want to they want to win when they get to Vegas. Like, they're building up to be like a good team. You know, I don't know if it's the stadium or the situation. It's hard to fully judge, but you also can't fully just give them a pass. But they've been a disappointment for 2 years in a row here now, right? I guess the stadium is just – thing is, you're hitting in the stadium too, so it goes both ways. But last year, the Athletics, Kevin, were voted amongst Major League Baseball players the team to break through. Yeah. Right? Like the Major League Baseball players do their own votes. Like, who's the upcoming player? Who's the up and coming team? Whatever, blah, blah. Like, they have a million questions. And for the most part, it was like a unanimous. Like, everybody said, yeah, Oakland or Sacramento are good. So this team is going to be like a playoff team. And they weren't. And then again this year, people said, yeah, what didn't happen last year, but it'll happen this year. Like, that was baseball players. Like, not media. This is like the baseball players voting on up-and-coming teams. They all said, now they'll be used to the stadium. It'll be better this year there. Same thing again, Kevin. They can't pitch. The pitching staff sucks. Let's call it up what it is.
Listen, I know why it's not a big story, but you know how what the Red Sox have done? The Athletics were 38-38. They're 7-29 in their last 36 games.
Yeah, they were right there earlier. You're right. They were 2 games out of the division or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, Gabe, look at the state of the AL West. The Mariners bought and sold. Like, look at the state of the American League West.
I think they've come to the conclusion they can't win in this stadium.
But don't we all I don't know, Vegas is supposed to be worse. It doesn't make sense. Like, they're just another this. I try not to
and then you get the Toronto Blue Jays, Kevin. And then you got the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, I can't. Don't even get me started.
Have spent money, have tried. This is what's so weird, like I said about salary caps, guys. Look at the Blue Jays. Blue Jays spent a lot of money, man, and would spend more if they could. Like, they would pay anybody. They try to get everybody. Like, they try again all the time, Kevin, right? They try. It's just a disaster for them. They can't buy their way out of this somehow. You know what I mean?
They also
they
keep finishing the runner-up to the Dodgers, which is tough. Like,
yeah, constantly, right? Where
like,
yeah,
very famously, they finished second on Ohtani and Tucker.
But isn't it strange that there they are? They've just blown up on the field, but it's not because like they haven't spent money. They spent money.
You know what though? Every time, so when the Eagles got Saquon, I remember people were low on the move because they were like, "It's a running back, not worth it." And I told people,
I was not one of those people, Kevin. I said, "Oh dear God, they're going to win the Super Bowl with him."
But Gabe, but I told people, I go, here's one of the things people are. The Eagles needed a jolt. Some vibes are a real thing. It sounds like a kid thing.
For
it's
the
not.
City, the fans, the stores, the talk shows,
locker room, like
just like the Sixers just did now with Brown and LeBron. You got a jolt,
exactly. Like Kyle Tucker, we've talked. He's not having a great year, but gosh, did Toronto need Kyle Tucker?
Yeah, he would have been a jolt to the Toronto market. The Dodgers are like, yeah, whatever. It's just another signing. We need an outfielder. That was us. Remember, I even told you, we need an outfielder. That's why we're signing him.
That's why you got Rick Skubal.
Yeah,
we might need a pitcher. We might need a pitcher, right? With the way things are looking here.
No, you're right.
We'll
For
see.
like the Dodgers and like even Dodger fans are like, yeah, he's all right, Tucker. He's whatever. But you said it would have been a big deal like for other teams to get him, you know?
Yeah, the story of the Dodgers getting him is, everyone else feels like they're not having fun, but it wasn't. I mean, look, Tucker's been a wild disappointment. The Dodgers are the best team in baseball. That's where we are.
And it doesn't even matter. Tucker gets one double, wins one game in the playoffs for us. He's worth it.
Yeah.
No,
honestly,
I'm dead serious, Kevin. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
You make one catch, one game, like everything. So, like, everybody, you're in their spot. Paul has, you made that catch last year, you were in the World Series.
Retire
like everybody, like everybody, Dean put his hand up, you earned it.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. We've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Okay, guys, live here on SportsGrid. It is in-game live. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency, updating the live board, but also getting ready for Dodgers-Cubs. This series has got juice to it. We expect Tariq Skubal to make his Dodger debut during this series. And also, the Dodgers were just swept by the Boston Red Sox. I mean, it's a statement, certainly by Boston here. And we know the Cubbies are playing solid baseball. They did just drop a home series to the Yankees. They're going to look to, see what they can do here. I played under 8. We've talked about it. Sometimes the value with these other guys the Dodgers throw can be a nice under. Wroblewski did not have his best stuff last go-round. I think he bounces back. Matthew Boyd's been good since returning here for Chicago. I played an under 8, Gabe, at Wrigley Field tonight.
We're playing the Dodgers. We talk about it. And as Kevin just stated, you get sort of value at times with the Dodgers. Shorter price. And, it's crazy because Wroblewski's actually an all-star, but, it is what it is. He's not the big name that some of the other pitchers are. It is a big series, right? It's the thing with the Dodgers. I mean, you're kind of going through the motions for a long time. It's a tough spot to be in. But if you can't get up for playing against the Red Sox, you can't get up for playing against the Cubs at Wrigley. I don't know what you're going to be able to get up for a potential playoff preview as well. And that's why I say, too, as good as the Dodgers are, once you get into the playoffs, guys, anything can happen in a baseball game. I mean, like I said, Boston are good. Tampa are good. The Cubs are good. The Brewers are good. The Braves are good. Right? Are the Dodgers deeper, maybe? Yeah, but look how close they came to losing to the Blue Jays last year, man. Literally and figuratively. Inches away from losing. Right? It's not like baseball isn't a sport where, it's not college football where it's we're just bigger, faster, and stronger than you. It's not. It's not the case, right? So I'm not just handing the Dodgers the World Series right now. I mean, we've got a good shot, obviously, but I'm not just handing it to them. But speaking of good shots, too, Kevin, the Aces playing some good basketball. Up a 12 spot right now on Atlanta in the ATL right now, Kevin. The Las Vegas Ace sending a statement tonight. And we played, both me and Kevin are both on Angel Reese over rebounds. Over 11.5 rebounds. Not a bad start. She's got 6 rebounds with 2 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, and the reason she'll probably not give us much more than that is she's ran into a bit of foul trouble. And if you kind of look at just the splits right now, they're trying to survive this half without her. They are a decent
she's only played 13
team.
minutes. Good call. Yeah, good eye. She's only played 13 minutes.
It's starting to snowball a little bit, Gabe. The Atlanta Dream
51 now. Yeah, they're pulling away.
They're on the wrong side of a 20-5 run. They can't buy a 3. This is where you'd like to throw the ball inside. But Angel's on the bench. So this is a team right now who offensively just does not have it going tonight. Liberty up 50-43 at the break on Seattle. Sabrina Ionescu, 15 points on 6 of 7 shooting. Stewie with 13, 2, and 3. A pretty solid start for her as well. The live total is that right? Is that 180.5? I'm surprised it's not a little bit higher here.
I got a 181.5, yeah.
Okay.
181.5. 50-43, so we're at 93 at the break. Yeah, I got a 181.5. You're right. It feels like I'll jump in on this number. I kind of liked it earlier before the game, and I didn't take it. And then when it got up to 187.5, I didn't want to click it in game. I was like, it feels just a little high. Speaking of the 187.5, that happens to be the number now with the Aces and the Dream right now. So 187.5 there in a 51-38 game. But I will jump in on this, guys. I will take the over at the half here. You got a better number at 180.5. So if anybody's out there at the same book at 180.5, I would take it over because I like it over 181.5. Look, we could get to 200 here still, right? I'm not saying we will, but we don't have to. But, I mean, guys, we got 93 points in the first. It's a reasonable number here.
I don't disagree. I am wondering if we do play some Atlanta here at a price.
They're getting 8.5
right now. So there was just like a nasty fall in the game, Gabe. I've got it up. And it might have been Alicia Gray. So I wouldn't do anything just yet, but it's certainly something that we will monitor. Baseball-wise, there's a pair.
Let me just ask you, though, but for moving forward future, to me, who's a top contender out of the East? Is it New York? Yeah, I guess New York is that one team. I don't buy into Atlanta, Kevin. I know they're good, but I don't think they're top tier good. Like, I don't think Atlanta are on the same level as the Aces are. I don't think they're on the same level as the Minnesota Lynx are. I think the teams from the West are better.
I mean, I think the Lynx. I don't know, man. If the Lynx don't win the title this year,
like, to me, the Lynx are aces.
They'll never win it.
Yeah, it's a good call. Like, they're almost turning into the Bills or something. You know what I mean? Like, and it's
when I say never win it, I mean with this core. Obviously, they won a ton. They've won it before. History.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I know what you mean, but like, you're right. Like, they can't just be as good as they are all the time and fall short, right? Last year they had the injury situation. They didn't play great either, because I remember I was taking Seattle. They were covering all the time, and all the games were super close. But there's really no excuses this year, Kevin. Collier's back. She's healthy. You have Olivia Miles. You're incredibly deep. This is it. Like, to me, this is Minnesota or bust this year. But Vegas are that good still, too.
I think that's the problem, Gabe. How are you betting even money right now on the Lynx?
No, I know.
You know, this will sound ridiculous to
Vegas
people,
get underrated every year, Kevin. Like, last year, people didn't like them either, right? Like, you get value betting on the Aces.
If you are a fan of one of the short college football national title teams, because some of the numbers feel short. Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State, Oregon. I'll click Oregon, for example. You want to pair them with the Lynx on FanDuel, that goes, you get Oregon now instead of 7-1, 15-1.
Yeah, you double it up.
I'd almost rather use Minnesota. I will.
With both of them, Kevin, though, almost. Like Las Vegas and Minnesota, in the sense, with a college football team. So either one, you've got a 15-1 or a 17-1 or something. You know what I mean?
Well, you'll get so you might just like the Aces number, Gabe. I mean, I'm seeing almost 5-1 right now on Vegas.
And I actually do like the Ducks, but I'm not sure. I think the Ducks. Like, the Ducks are actually my pick to win before. I haven't made an official pick yet.
Mm-hmm.
But are they? Or is it just going to be more of the same, huh? You know what I mean? Like, I think the Ducks are going to be there. Like, they're going to get in the play. They're going to be there. Right. Last year, they just hit the wall. 2 years ago, I mean, they were 15-0, and they were rolling along, and they were, then they got smoked in the bowl game in the first half, in the Rose Bowl, whatever. Last year, they looked good in the playoffs, and then they just sort of hit the wall. They weren't very healthy in that game. No excuses. They probably would have lost anyways, but it's almost like you just said with the Minnesota Lynx. If not now, for the Ducks, when, Kevin? You know what I mean? Like, this is it. Like, you got Dante Moore back. You're effing stacked. You look at the landscape as far as other teams. There's only a few other, there's not too many other, scary, dangerous teams. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, we're good, but oh my God, these other guys are really good. It's like, if you're Oregon, it's like, all right, we got to deal with Notre Dame, maybe. We're not scared of Notre Dame. And I'm not saying Notre Dame, we're scared of them, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oregon aren't like, oh my God, we can't beat them. Like, if not now, when for the Oregon Ducks? And it's a little young in Dan Lanning's career to say that, but he is developing a reputation for not winning the big game, isn't he already?
Yeah, I agree. I actually think Dan Lanning has gotten more of a pass than any big-time coach in recent memory.
If it was Marcus Freeman that lost as much as Lanning, or my guys in Michigan or Moore or something, he'd run his ass into the ground, man. Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer might get fired.
Yeah, Kalen DeBoer is a good example. Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer owned Dan Lanning. That Oregon, you remember it, Gabe. The Oregon Ducks were over a touchdown favorite.
Washington beat them twice.
Pac-12, they were over a touchdown favorite.
Yeah, and they just lost them a week before that. I never understood that number. I was on Washington.
Yeah, well, it worked out great. By the way, we'll update you on the Dodgers game after the break. My goodness.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. We've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Here's my question. We're going to talk some Dodgers. Are we sure, Scott Boras and Tariq Skubal won't be like, hey, Dodgers, listen, man. We wish you the best of luck, but this whole World Series stuff, we got a contract coming our way. We're going to pass on that, huh? All right, we're going to show up. We're going to show up. We love the gear, but I think Big Yama's got it. We're out on this.
Hey, Max Scherzer basically did that to us. He did. And Walker Buehler's arm fell off because of it.
Well,
now, I'm never going to question a guy, his integrity, right? But it was the playoffs, Kevin, and basically every couple of days, man, Scherzer said, I can't go.
Yeah.
I can't go. And he was a free agent at the end of the year, and he was leaving. And he kept saying, I can't go. And Walker Buehler, being the psycho that he was, kept on saying, give me the ball, I'll do it. Give me the ball, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Walker Buehler took years off his career, man. He did. Point blank for the Dodgers by pitching on you saw Yamamoto step up last year, but yeah, can you imagine Skubal? Yeah, it's not feeling great, guys. I think I got to sit this one out.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of pressure on Skubal to perform now, though, huh? That's the thing. You join the Dodgers. We see Kyle Tucker feels that pressure. Like, I don't care who you are. You're joining a 2-time championship team full of superstars. You need to perform. You need to deliver. It's not even for the fans, for the guys in the room, Kevin, right? The school wants to show Betts and Ohtani and Yamamoto that I am all that. I am what you guys thought I am,
Gabe, I know you won't like this. I know you'll think I'm being ridiculous. I don't think he cares. After what I saw him do at the WBC, I have no reason to believe
he doesn't seem to care about very much. Oh, yeah, you put it that way. I would agree with that.
Like, he'll pitch. Listen, I don't actually think he's not going to pitch, and when he pitches, he wants to perform. And maybe it's a good thing, because I do think some of the pressure's gotten to Tucker. That Skubal, is just whatever. It's baseball. But
it is different, though, Kevin. It is different when you play. It's different when you play for the Dodgers when you play for a different team, though. There's a level of expectation that is it's a different world. Dodger fans are very, they're kind of more negative and aggressive than they have been, the modern fan a little bit. Used to be very supportive Dodger fans as a whole. Right now, they'll kind of turn on you. They do. They'll turn on you after a while. They haven't turned on Tucker yet. because the team is doing so well. If the team wasn't doing well, Tucker would probably have a bigger problem. I mean, hell, they've turned on Mookie Betts a couple of times over the last couple of years. But that's sort of the modern online jackass fan, which I don't really want to. Fans are just terrible now. I mean, the stuff that they say about players, and they don't respect anybody. Like it's
just too easy to get feedback from fans. You know what I mean? But just to the
Twitter isn't fans though, right? We see that, and that's just some crazy person online.
But Gabe, I was going to make the point. People thought Sonny Gray's career was over because he couldn't pitch in New York. He, in 2018, had a 4.9 ERA. Sonny, it's 2026. He's pitching to a sub-3 ERA. He's the wins leader on the Boston Red Sox. It's 8 years later. Like,
New York is a good example of that, though, right? That it really 100%. Isn't for everybody.
100%.
Like, it's different. Like, one start, like, you know what I mean? Just everything is so magnified.
I think in baseball more than any
the
of
Yankees
the other sports,
is worse than the LA. It's worse than LA. Mm-hmm. Like there's more pressure being a Yankee than a Dodger. Like they'll turn on you quicker in New York.
It's with football, right? Like you're the Giants quarterback. Guys, every quarterback has pressure. Okay? And you can get distracted by the other big stories in the league. I'm not like, guys, the radio station, they have 3-hour shows and they just talk either Yankees or Mets 3 hours every day for 6 months, 5 months. Like, that's all it is. So, like, I remember sometimes, Gabe, because like, I'm a Yankee fan, but like more national level sometimes. And you'd hear these guys, like, listen, last Tuesday, they took the wrong guy out of the bullpen. It's like, do you even watch basketball? The finals are on. You're talking about Mets bullpen choices, but that's all they have. So, yes, the New York stuff, but that's why I don't like when people say that when it comes to, like, the Jets. Like, being it's different. No, it's not different to be the Jets quarterback. No, Aaron Rodgers didn't feel pressure because he was the Jets quarterback. They hated him in Green Bay.
It's not, you're right, it's not the same.
Nothing to do with it.
It's not the same. Like being a New York Yankee or even a New York Met isn't like being a New York Jet. Nobody cares about the Jets. Nobody in New York cares about the Jets. Like, nobody cares. Like, it's a New York market. No, there ain't no New York market. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, nobody cares. It's sort of like, like, you're right. It's different. But some players, thrive on that. Some guys don't, right? Like, that's the whole, they don't mind it. Some guys get sort of pushed by it. And Skubal right now, like I said, he's pitching in games that matter now. That's the only difference, right? A lot of these players, they're really great and stuff, but it's like, you never pitched in a game that really mattered, though. So now you're pitching when it matters, and let's see how good you really are, because there is a difference. Just point blank. There is a difference.
Yeah, it'll be really fun to follow. I'll say that much. But
the Dodgers bats have responded tonight, but the Cubs respond, Kevin. The Dodgers score 5 runs already, guys. The Dodgers put a 3 spot up, and the Cubs have responded with 2 in the bottom of the first inning. 3-2 Dodgers right now.
Each team scored multiple runs before an out was recorded in the inning. So, listen, credit to both these lineups. They're up for this one tonight. Certainly, maybe that riggy weather picked up in a way.
Still. How about that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, listen, as far as my total goes, I got to toss this game to the side here now.
Speaking of pressure, bunch of losers, Yankees. Bad bats.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gabe, you'll love this. They trade for Louis Garcia, so I asked somebody who would know. I said, hey, can Garcia bat leadoff? They responded, you're currently batting Trent Grisham leadoff. Of course he can bat leadoff. I said, you can't argue that. Can't argue that.
One hit.
Can't argue that. Trent Grisham's batting 210. I don't understand. We trying to get the at-bat out of the way? You can't be a leadoff hitter hitting 210. That's just not an option. Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. You know, we've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, maybe a little risky here, but I just played Atlanta plus 12.5 live in-game against Vegas. They're down 17, so yes, it's a lot of points from the pregame, but they now have to certainly be the much better basketball team in here in the second half. But to me, the three-point line doesn't lie. The Atlanta Dream have taken 11 more threes than Las Vegas.
Wow.
They've made 2 less threes than Las Vegas.
3 for 19, Kevin.
That's what I'm saying. Against the 5 for 8 game. Those even remotely kind of
3 for 19
come to earth. Yeah, I think this game, Vegas probably win it, but I think Atlanta can get this thing under single digits here. Under double digits, I should say. Excuse me.
That's, you know, if you look, this is the problem for Atlanta tonight. They're just not shooting the ball. It's the 3-point shots, right? They've taken 38 shots, Kevin. Half of them are 3-point shots. Half of their shots have been 3-point shots, and have only hit 3 of them. So I agree with what you're saying. They're not going to stop shooting. They're going to take another 19 of these, and you figure they could hit 6, 7 of these maybe, you know, this time.
That's all you really need, right? You're not going to need, you know, much more than that to kind of on its head. I'm pretty optimistic about where we are in this game as well.
Vegas, though, Kevin? Their efficiency from the field, 22 of 34.
Yeah, very impressive.
Very 65% from the field, guys. They chose they didn't force the threes, 5 threes, hit 5 of them. That's good They're playing great basketball, Kevin. I watch this team, bro, and like the way they, you know, they can get points at any time with Asia, but the way they pass the ball, like Kevin, like the way that they score. Look at the plus minus of their players, man. Jackie Young. Like, you got Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, Asia Wilson on the floor at the same time, Kevin. Smart women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not girls. Yeah. They're women. A lot of these teams, they're still girls. That's like my deal. Like I was with you last couple of years. I'm like, you all sleeping on Vegas, man. You're all thinking, oh, I don't know, Vegas, they're not looking good. They're older. Yeah. Well, beat them in a series, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Beat them in a series. Like, you see the Valkyries are good. And, like, Vegas have that extra edge, Kevin. You know what I mean? They're one of the few teams, they can flick a switch. They really can. Where it's like, yeah, you know what? It's tied now. We're in the fourth quarter. We're going to change. It's different now. And then they just start pounding it into Asia and stuff, and you can't stop it.
But this is the thing, and I'm going to make this comparison. Sometimes people get bored with greatness. Yeah. Derrick Rose should have never won an MVP, and it's in a disgrace to league history that he did. Olivia Miles is a superstar and a future MVP. It's incredibly disrespectful when people say she should win league MVP. Aja Wilson is minus 500 because the bookmakers don't care about online fights. Aja Wilson is the best player in this sport, and it's not even close. And there are really, really, really special players in this
She's
sport.
the best player ever.
That's how good. Yeah, she is. She is.
I don't want to disrespect the previous generations that built
Lisa
the league
Leslie,
up.
Candace Parker, Lauren
Rebecca
Jackson.
Lobo. Yeah, but
listen,
Aja Wilson's better than all of them.
Yes.
She is.
And guys,
They didn't
it's
score
not like
25 points a game, guys, all those players. Like, she just shows up and drop, like, it's not easy to score 25 points in 40 minutes, guys. Like, these aren't 48-minute games that she's playing. Not to mention, she could score a hell of a lot more if she wanted to.
Yeah. She is. Oh, and by the way, like, she won Defensive Player of the Year last year. You know what I mean? She is a truly, truly special player, and it changes the math on this team in a regular basis. Just again, right? I mean, she is
even her first
dominating.
5 of 7 from the field, 14 points, 3 for 3 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. She's a plus 28.
It's ridiculous. So think plus 28, plus Gabe. They were only up 17. They were minus 11 when she was on the bench.
That's what I'm saying. Like her margin is bigger than the game's margin. That's what's wild. Like they're only up by 17, and she's a plus minus 28. So in other words, when the few minutes that she hasn't been on the floor, that's when Atlanta do their damage.
Yeah. Well, listen, someone get Aja in foul trouble. Then is basically what I'm hearing. Can someone?
The bad news is Aja plays about 32 minutes a night, guys. So good luck with that.
Yeah. No, it's a point well made. That total's really picking up, by the way, Gabe. In New York, Seattle, that thing's up to live right now, 189.5. So the points are still kind of coming in bunches here. Storm just hanging around. Like if you're holding a Liberty ticket, you're thinking, we're a runaway. But if you're holding a Storm ticket, you don't feel out of it right now. Flo J's got 18, Malonga 13, Heidemann 15.
I stayed away from Flo J. Fuck, it was 14.5 again tonight. It was 14.5.
Flew by, guys. Right back here. Quick break on SportsGrid. Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now when the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. We've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Live on SportsGrid here with you all on this Monday. I mean, St. Louis have completely chased Cam Schlittler out of this game.
Wow.
He only goes 3 innings. They bring in Tim Hill. It doesn't get any better. He gives up 2, and he can't get out of this inning. Alec Burleson's got multiple home runs in this game. So, and again, like, why is Alec Burleson on the St. Louis Cardinals, man? Like, the Cardinals are bad. They're not going anywhere. Why is that not a bad trade at the deadline? But so be it. This Nationals game had 3 runs in the first 2 innings. There's not been any runs since. Pirates are up 3-0 on Milwaukee. Giants grabbed the 2-0 lead up on the Rangers. And then, Gabe, I know you were happy to see the Blue Jays grab a quick lead up on Houston.
Well, I bet the under in this game, so I don't want too many runs. I'm on the under 9. It's 8.5 right now. But I just sort of noted, guys, watching the Blue Jays, when they got out of the inning, like, the dugout was electric. Like, you would not know what the Blue Jays record is if you saw their reaction and their dugout and the enthusiasm. I told Kevin during the break, I said, this Jays team, they're trying. Like, they're not moping. They're not, like, guys you could tell. Like, they're deliberately going out of their way to stand up. Come on, guys. And everyone sort of, they were very into it. And then Kirk hits the first pitch of the inning over the wall, right? I mean, as bad as they are, they're not that far out of it, right? So they know if we could just go on a run, nothing ever has gone their way. And they're kind of taking on a team in Houston. It's kind of in a similar situation, although not obviously as bad this year. So something to keep our eye on here with the Jays moving forward. Rays and Rockies just getting started right now. And I was kind of interested in the Rays here, Kevin, but I just couldn't get there at this high price.
Yeah, I thought the same. Then I thought about playing the total. But the Lorenzen last 2 starts have been so high scoring that I was like, I might be a little late to the party. So I left this one alone. I don't blame anybody who gets involved. Just a quick update. This is not a good one. Angel Reese just picked up her 3rd foul, trying to guard Asia Wilson. So I think they're going to try and gut it out. But she's at 9 boards, 7 rebounds. Okay. She's 9.7 rebounds. 9.7 rebounds. Look, she's having a great game. She's just not on the court right now enough. They're going to leave her out there, but another foul away, you're in some real trouble here.
Yeah, we're going to have to manage this. We got it's not ideal, but
you do get 6 fouls, which in a 40-minute game should be enough, but we'll see.
They're probably going to take her out here and they'll bring her back in the 4th quarter.
I think they're going to just leave her, Gabe. Because they sat her for so long in the 2nd quarter with the 2nd foul.
Oh, did they just leave her in now with this foul still? They left her in? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they can't let the game get away too much again, too, right? They're down by 16 here, so.
Yeah, I think the worry is, if you're Vegas, how are you not giving the ball to Asia Wilson every possession now, right? Get that 4th foul, or
you're gonna have to tell Angel to back off a little bit in the paint. You're not stopping her anyways, right? Just tell her, listen, don't foul her. Like, just back off a little bit.
Yeah. They just hit a big 3, Atlanta. So we've got our eyes on that game right now. Again, we're kind of, here's the one Dodger.
Hey, Brianna Stewart up to 19, Kevin, and everybody. We took Stewie over 21.5. Good news. She's up to. And as Kevin brought up earlier, this Seattle team is scrappy. We've talked a lot about Seattle. We see them a lot. They cover these numbers, man. They hang around. For a shorthanded young team, they're a competitive team, Kevin. And look, they were down big, bro. They've cut the lead to 5 right now, 72-67.
Yeah, it's impressive. They've got a really good core. I don't know how far away they are from, truly feeling like contenders. Obviously, it's not this
3
season.
2 years,
but
like not even next year. Yeah. 2 years, not next year, but the year after. Hey, FloJ's turning into a nice little score, though, I tell you.
100%, man, 100%. The Dodger question, though, Gabe, I wanted to ask you, and rightfully so, or there's so many other elements, but what do you make of their current price? On one book, they didn't even drop that much. I don't know if it's because they thought they were going to get Skubal.
Yeah.
I saw 175 down to 160. I don't know if it was, I'm not sure what, we can only move it so short kind of thing. Like, what do you make of where the Dodgers are price-wise following the move?
They can't really go much lower, can they?
No.
Right? What, they're going to go to plus 100, which they might in the playoffs after a series win. Like, I mean, let's be real. By the time, let's say the Dodgers win the first round, their first series that they play in, then they're going to flip to like minus 165 or something. So I think there's something to be said of getting a head start on it. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you. I can get as high as plus 162 I'm seeing here right now. But I can't tell you that's a great bet. We have to parlay it, Kevin. Point blank. You have to parlay it. Right? Parlay the Dodgers with, college football future. With a WNBA future. With an NFL future.
Let me ask you this on the
NHL,
Dodgers.
whatever.
What potential injury scares you the most, if any? Because we talk about it. They're not the healthiest team in the league.
Ohtani.
If I tell you, yeah?
Yeah. I'm thinking like who's sort of like the key. Ohtani is a big sort of driver of this thing. Like who would you say, like who's a key? I mean, obviously pitchers, right? But I'm just stating as far as the lineup is concerned. Ohtani's knee is somewhat of a concern to me. Just sort of like moving down the road. I think like a couple of years down the road, it's going to be a problem for him. Right? And I want to manage it through this year. Look, it was a 7-year deal, and it's kind of ideal that they've happened to have won 2 times already, right?
Yeah.
Because what was I said at the time, I remember me and Kurtz were talking about it, and he said, what is a success with this deal, like with Ohtani? And I said 3 times, 3 championships.
That's a high bar, man.
I know, and they're already at 2.
But my point is, don't you, having seen them already won 2 championships, he's won 2 MVPs, don't you feel like it's already been a success no matter what happens?
Yes. But yes and no. No.
You'd be surprised if they didn't win again. I get that, but this is a successful contract. This is a successful run.
Yes. 2 championships, MVPs, the sponsorships. Yes, it's been a slam dunk. Right? It's been a slam dunk. But I would say like there's not really like one that glue guy. It sounds crazy, I think it's Ohtani. Muncy is important to them, believe it or not. Like he is that sort of guy there. Like, like he's sort of that sort of guy that's been there. He's kind of clutch. In the middle of the lineup, he's come up with some big hits for them.
I think the Ohtani stuff is real, though. If Ohtani missed time, even if it's not true,
because he wants to pitch, right? It's
scary.
Bad enough that he can't pitch. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there is something to this moving forward, but he feels of such a high bar. Look, Mookie Betts basically threw it out there that he wants to get to 5. Like he was sort of real. Like they asked him how many more, and he basically said, like me personally, he goes, I won't be here like when they're still winning. Like Mookie kind of knows I'm not going to be here in 4 years type thing, like on the team. So like he said, for me, I think I can get up to 5. He had the 2 with Boston, the 2 with LA now. So he needs 1 more to get to 5 World Series championships, bro, for Mookie Betts. It's not a bad career, right, Kevin?
Is it this is probably obvious, but I'll ask it
anyway. It's kind of flying on the radar, like just how casual that is. Oh, yeah, it's going to be his 5th one.
Mookie Betts wears a Dodger hat in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Maybe that's obvious to people.
He's now played more games as a Dodger. It's hard to believe. Doesn't feel that way. He's played more games as a Dodger. It just happened the other day. It was like 708 or something like that. It just just surpassed it. So he's been with the Dodgers for longer and more. And he will be with the Dodgers for longer and more.
Yeah, he's a Dodger. Wow, how about that? Probably Boston. Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. You know, we've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, new opinion just dropped. Wrobleski's cooked, and the Dodgers needed Skubal.
Wow. 4-3. They blew a 3-0 lead. This is two starts in a row, too. Wrobleski got hit last time,
too. Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is why, like you said, we need Skubal. Like, as the year goes on, we need less Wrobleski and Sheehan in our life and more Skubal and Glasnow in our life and Snell.
There's no bigger disparity in baseball than the Dodgers rotation currently and what it could be. It is the biggest gap in the sport. There is a world this team throws a Wrobleski in a playoff game on the road, and they're a dog. They're a dog if they throw Wrobleski on the road in the playoffs. And then there's another world. It's game 3 and Blake Snell's got the baseball, right? Like,
yeah. And ideally in the playoffs, Wrobleski is going to be coming out of the bullpen. Long relief.
Yeah,
he won't start a game, right? If he starts a game, it's because somebody's hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. But between Skubal, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Ohtani, Snell, again, like what it can be, I mean, you're talking about unbelievable talent. I mean, unbelievable talent. Skubal and Snell, whether they make it or not, are Hall of Fame level talents.
I don't know.
Yamamoto's the reigning World Series MVP.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of hardware if you want to add up everybody. Like with Cy Young's, MVPs, you know what I mean? Like, everybody would be like, oh, yeah, what did you like? Snell? Yeah, I want a Cy Young. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think he's won 2, actually, hasn't he?
I think so.
I'm like, yeah, I'd be like, yeah, like, that's what's crazy about the Dodgers. Like, yeah, they're going to have like 2-time Cy Young Award winners, 5th in a rotation, Kevin.
Yeah. I mean, and
they have to get there first. And they have to win games, right? I mean, but, this is the long season. They're kind of going through it right now. They're on the road. The Dodgers aren't a great road team either on the East Coast. They're not. Like, I remember last year we got roughed up by the Cubs. It was bad weather, if you guys remember. It was a bad weather series. It was like day games. It was raining and cold. And, like, the Dodgers wilted. They were not interested in playing. It was like, we just want to get out of here. The Dodgers are kind of, I'm going to say soft. They don't like the East Coast. Like, they don't. Like, ideally, like, we got lucky with the, they got lucky with the Dome in Toronto. And they got lucky 2 years ago. It was unseasonably warm in New York, if you remember. It wasn't cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not a cold weather team. And I'm not saying it's cold weather now, but I'm just stating, like, you can sort of catch the Dodgers in these spots. And you brought up openers as well. Another thing is, too, the Dodgers, I'd like to back it up because I bring this up often, but I don't have the number. The Dodgers lose game ones of series quite often, actually. This is sort of when you can catch them. You get them in that game one. They get you in game two and game three after where they sort of wake up a little bit. But still a lot of baseball left here. But Dodgers put a 3-spot up in the first, and it's 4-3 for the Cubs right now. In-game total, 12.5. Dodgers plus 125. Going to be a lot of runs scored in this game. Or is this one of these games, Kevin, that totally slows down now?
We've seen it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
right? It could just totally slow down.
I mean, to be honest, as somebody who's on over in Philly, Washington, I actually feel bad for people. If you have the under.
Yeah, it's just a grand slam.
There's been 3 home runs. It was 3-0 in the bottom of the 7th. You get a grand slam. It changes the whole total, right? So we'll see what happens. Like, I'm looking at Yankees Cardinals, and I'm not going to chase the total, but I think I can still get the under 8 because I'm not sure the Yankees score. We've seen the Yankees do this stuff.
I was hoping when the Yankees were down 3-0 that we were still in it. You know, and then it was 4, whatever. Okay, like, yeah, we're still in this, but 6, we're done. Like, it's just done. And how many hits do they have? They have 2 now. So they were getting 1 hit about half an hour ago when I brought it up. Yankees offense just non-existent tonight, Kevin. 2 hits.
Yeah. I mean, Louis Garcia got a base knock, which is nice to see just on the debut, but, you know, that's not helping anybody win anything. Caminero hits a 2-run shot, by the way, to get that party started in Tampa Bay. You got to be kidding me, man. It's just not a real baseball team. I'm sorry. I have no respect for them, and I really don't care what anybody says. And
the Rockies?
Yeah. There's a I don't know, man. There's a piece of me that thinks it's fun that we get these like 12.5s, 11.5s. And then there's a piece of me that says that they just shouldn't put a dome. I don't know.
They can't hit. That's the whole thing. Like, they can't. But you get these high numbers, but you can't just automatically assume Colorado are going to do anything.
Well, they're just.
They're a team, man. I don't like betting. I'll bet against them. I don't like. I stay away from Rocky games for the most part. If you guys notice.
Yeah. No. You do actually, right? You don't come on here and give out, hey guys, this Rocky game's gonna have 12 runs tonight. I actually don't think I've heard you say that. We've been doing baseball all year together.
I don't think I've heard you do that. There'll be 6 runs scored. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. No, they do have these games where you feel dumb, right? I had one the other day. I took like a 12.5 game, and the game finished like 4-2.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just you're not supposed to lose that bad on a baseball total, right? Like,
and the Sacramento games are the same though. You'll notice they either score 23 runs or they stay way under. It's like, yeah, no, it was a 4-1 final, or it was like, no, it was 17-12. There's no in between really. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't like, oh yeah, it always lands at 11. They set an 11.5, and always like, it's so erratic. That's why I stay away from them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like one night, you notice in the same series and with these athletic games. It's like the game one of the series will be 4-2. The next game will be 13-12. The next game will be 4-1. Like, it's all over the place.
By the way, and then we're hitting a break. We'll get all the other picks. The Liberty have all of a sudden found themselves up 19 in this game. 18 in this game.
Wow, what wild swings, huh? 87-69. Total down to 184.5.
You got your Stewie prop. I'm still on the hook here. I need 35 PRA. She's at 32.
Wow. Is she going to play?
I hope.
Let's.
Yeah. And you know what? Yes. We're on blowout watch in Atlanta. Angel Reese at 16-10.
Stewart's not on the floor anymore.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now when the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. You know, we've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Okay, guys, in-game live, button it up here. Flew by. It absolutely flew by here on a Monday night with all of you. We're going to put our final picks on the board.
3 days
We're
to
gonna
football,
update
Kevin. 72
Panthers,
hours.
Cardinals. We'll talk futures around those teams. We're going to start to mix in the college football futures as well, guys. It's going to be a busy month of August. You know that. You know we'll have you covered. We will also, I'm glad you brought it up, Gabe. We are here at 8 p.m. on Thursday, 8 p.m. for the football game. We're going to be here for 2 hours of that Hall of Fame game so we can bet it, follow it, and attack that. We'll have whatever else is on the slate. But let's just start off, Gabe. What picks coming up, if any, do you have rest of the night here?
Well, I got to tell you, there's not a lot of options.
Yeah, I realize that's putting you in a tough spot.
San Diego, Arizona baseball. Are you betting this game?
I am. I took the Padres. I still like backing Michael King. I do, and I think the number's nice.
San Diego as well. I was leaning. I don't love it, and we've got this Mercury game, Mercury in the Sky coming up. I mean,
this is what I'm
how
trying
are the
to figure
Mercury
out.
Road
Kelsey
favorites?
Plum because it's Gabe. It's all Kelsey Plum, right? Let's call it what it is. But what kind of minutes do you think she plays tonight? I'm trying to find something about this. She said she's allowed to play 20 minutes.
Her prop was 14 and a half. It's 13 and a half.
What do you got?
13 and a half.
I see a 12 and a half.
Oh, you see 12 and a half, really? Huh?
You got to think, Gabe, they just give her the ball, no? Right? Debut. Big move.
Yeah.
She's not there to play defense.
Get her shots. No, she's there to get shots, and their teammates will be happy to have her. You know what I mean? She'll be open for three. They can kick it out to her.
We play Thomas assists instead. We'll get
that
a full
was something
game.
I was looking at. Yeah, you know, she didn't hit in her last game. I don't think too. She had 7 only. She spent money 11, 15, 8, and 7. I was thinking the same thing earlier with the Thomas assist prop. It's 8.5, but it's plus money to the over.
Yeah, it's a good
The fact that Kelsey Plum is there helps her assists, right? She's going to kick it to her now a couple of times.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Kelsey's only going to play 20 minutes, right? So, look, if we get it, we get it. But with Thomas, we're going to get a full game. You know, it's going to give us an opportunity here that we need.
8.5 over 8.5 assists plus money. Yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah, so that might be. Do you want to bring the rebounds in? Do you get those combos, Gabe, like the rebound assist numbers?
Yeah. That's normally what I usually do. With Alyssa, it's kind of tough, right? It's like pick your poison with her stats. So, like, I almost end up just saying, well, okay, I'll just do all three or whatever because I don't want to, you do a rebound and she goes off for assists. You do assists and she goes off for rebounds, right? She is a stat machine.
Yeah. I'm doing the same thing as you because now I'm wondering, Gabe, like her points are 14 and a half.
Yeah,
her last
that's
5 games, 19, 17, 25, 19, 7. Like,
you
maybe
almost
we just
get suckered into doing points, rebounds, assists with her.
That's exactly. I went from assists to rebounds, assists to point, rebounds, assists. That's how I feel.
Don't know. You don't. It's whack-a-mole with her. Like a lot of times, trust me, I've been betting her props, a lot of lists over the years, and it's so frustrating. It's like you do rebounds and she scores 19 points. You do assists and she has 12 rebounds in the first half. Right, but sort of, 31 is very manageable, though, Kevin. That's a fair number. 31.5 points, rebounds, assists.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I also think we just got our Angel Reese money, too, Gabe. She's taking this game over.
There?
Gabe, she's taking this game over.
14.
No, Gabe, she's gone. She's got 23 points. Gabe.
23 points now, too.
This is the last hurrah in terms of the point, rebound, assist number, I think.
And they're still down by 21. They're still getting lit up. But, yeah, she's going up. She's, like I said, guys, people make fun of her online. No, she misses shots and blah, blah. Yeah, well, she's 10 of 18 from the field. She got 23 points and 14 rebounds. And the prop came down to 11.5 tonight. Sign me up. Great stuff.
Yeah, she's incredible.
So we hit Brianna Stewart over. We hit Angel Reese over. Not bad. 2-0 for WNBA props on the show tonight.
Yeah, I'm a hook away from the Stewie number that I have. I think I'll get it. I think we'll see. I agree with Gabe on the Alyssa Thomas play. I think it's the way to approach here. I think it's almost like a bit of hidden value. I almost would rather play. If you're going to play Kelsey Plum tonight, guys, I know this is going to sound crazy. I'd rather play alts. Take a chance that she just scores 20 and 20.
What's her 3-point prop situation? How many threes?
2. 1.5.
Yeah,
not bad.
Over threes. That's the play. Over threes.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
The dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. We've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
The World of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, the oldest and the newest combat sport. bare knuckle fighting had its last champion in 1889, ending the sport's chaotic beginning without weight divisions or round limits and no referees. Over a century later, bare knuckle boxing returned with a modern spin.